Okay, you guys, you want to like have a conversation, converse about anything? Maybe a handful of different topics or something, or
I'd rather just kind of chill.
Honestly, same.
Sorry, I forgot you were gonna say that line.
Honestly, same, Leah. How'd you know?
zoom in on this right now, right there.
Ross, you do it.
Convo Chill, Part 2. Honestly, same.
Ooh, honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly,
Honestly,
same.
same.
Honestly,
Honestly, same.
same. Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Yep, you heard that right. The song is now played. It's the theme song to this show, which is called Honestly Same. Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Hi.
Hi. Ross here, as always.
Leah here as sometimes.
Brittany, when I'm been told to be here.
And collectively, we are the Honestly Same podcast. And you heard it right. And as long as I zoom in on it when I'm editing this episode together, you saw that we are playing Convo and Chill again, because one time just was not enough. So we're going to pull from these decks of cards. They're going to give us a bunch of different topics and stuff to talk about. And we're going to do it just like we have before. So let's kick it off. Brittany's got the first card.
I do. Are strippers allowed at your partner's bachelor or bachelorette party? If so, would physical contact be okay? My answer is yes and yes, as long as it's not like, we all know what, like, I don't care if there's like dances and stuff. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Get a lap dance. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that's, as long as you're not like, and then I jerked him, and then I'm like, all right.
But it would be a controversial topic for lots of people. Lots of people would be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Nick and I went for our collective bachelor and bachelorette party to a strip club
Zach
together.
and I have been to one before together as well.
I miss the strip club. I miss the strip club.
Hey, just because you're married, get out there. You can still do it.
Just because you own the store doesn't mean you can't.
Do you want us to take you?
I don't want to go to a strip club.
Oh.
I mean, I guess for the sake of this podcast and not disappointing Leah, I'd love to.
Okay, so what's your answer?
Oh, I don't necessarily care as long as it wasn't like, then you start jerking them off or something.
There's lines to be crossed, but I think like strippers know like what their
if it's
like limits are. I don't think that's like
Yeah. There's definitely there's very clear boundaries
for sure.
That makes sense. How do you like to be approached by someone who is interested in you? Just to be honest, clarity helps me a whole lot, let me tell you. Being as direct and as clear and as honest as you can be.
How do you want them to like look you in your eyes and hold your hand, or you're like, tell me over a phone call? Like what's
I don't know if I have a
preference.
No, I don't know if I would have a preference with that. It's more so just like just tell me, just say it. I think that's maybe the thing.
Okay.
There doesn't have to be like wait until you see me in person and then
Okay.
It can be a DM, it can be a text, it can be whatever.
I feel like it's the most meaningful when somebody tells you in person that they have feelings for you. As nice as it is to be able to like look back at like a text message or like a letter.
I was gonna say, I love a good letter.
Yeah, letters.
I love a good letter.
Letters
Really?
are great.
Yeah.
I love like written stuff just because I think that you can kind of look back at it. It feels a little bit more personal than like a text message. Yeah,
That makes sense.
I think that like if it was somebody just like coming up to me to tell me that they were like interested in me though, like if we're like at a bar, if it's that kind of context, I would want somebody to come up and like make me laugh. I think that that's for me the biggest thing. Like break the ice in a way where it's not like you're very attractive and this moment is blah. Like I don't need intensity. I want to like laugh with somebody because that to me is like breaking the ice in a way where it feels like we can have a conversation, but also like I get to see a side of you that like, I don't know. I think that's like something that for me is like
charisma.
Yeah. The charismatic. That's the word.
That makes sense.
If we're talking about like out in public, I prefer that you don't. And only because I don't really like, you're just going to get like a thank you. And not even because I'm married, because I'm not good at taking like compliments and stuff, like face value. And that's where I'm like, so just write me a long letter and send it to my house. And then I will
think about it.
Yes.
And then I will write you a letter back. And it will be like that movie, The Lake House with Sandra Bullock.
Which is the second time we've talked about that on this podcast.
Wow. This episode and podcast sponsored by Lake House.
And Sandra Bullock.
Catch it in theaters whenever it released years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right, Leah, you're up.
Name a deal breaker for you in a relationship. Ooh. Disrespect, I guess, just in general. And I know that that's kind of a cop-out answer, but I feel like I know people that will put up with somebody telling them what to wear or like, you know, the whole Jonah Hill thing.
Yeah.
I am my own person, and my person as a self, I deserve respect for who I am and what I like and what I do, and I'm not going to change those things. So if somebody disrespects myself or like my friends or my family, I think that that is definitely a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. I would say disrespecting me or my children. I think we've talked about this before, but I will never lose sleep if I ever have to cut anyone off because of my children. I will
That's
not
fair.
lose like a wink of sleep over that.
Yeah.
Like not even one night, not even like, do I feel bad about whatever my reaction is? Just,
That makes sense.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I feel like mine needs to be like self-awareness and then some ambition tucked in there too.
Okay.
Of like, not like wanting to be creative or wanting to start a business or anything like that, but just like knowing that you want.
You're not answering this correctly.
Am I not?
It's what's a deal breaker. And you're saying what you're looking for, kind of.
Oh, I guess I was framing that as like, if
So
that's
like
not
lack
there.
of self-awareness.
Yeah. I guess I worded that wrong. Yeah, but like,
I
that
hate
would
when
be-
I hate when my girl knows what she likes. Sorry.
oh no. Yeah, no. The opposite of that. What if I was just like, man, when she has these boundaries and acts like I can't disrespect her? Are you serious, bro? I had this one girl with children. She said, don't disrespect them. And I said, do you know who I am? No, the opposite of all of that. Some self-awareness of just like being in tune with like who they are, what they want, like the...
So if they were like not aware of themselves, you would be like, I can't do this. That's...
I would probably notice that and feel that and be like, okay, I guess I gotta, you know, whether it's like difficult or easy to get away from or whatever, be like, okay, this maybe isn't the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the deal breaker. Is
Gotcha.
like that lack of
No sense of direction, maybe. Like,
yeah, just
of, like-
knowing what you want in life.
Yeah.
Knowing being very aware of that.
I feel like it's something for me, like, I want to see that you're working towards something in your life.
For
know
me,
what I
it's,
mean?
it's the same thing,
Like-
even if that something is self-development.
Yes. No, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's always something new to be doing. Like, if you're the kind of person that's just kind of like, I am who I am and I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And just a relatively positive outlook on life, not
Yeah.
not hating life and thinking it sucks all the time. That's another deal breaker. Yeah.
Yeah. That can be a
Is it my
Debbie
turn?
Downer. Yeah. Because I just went.
Okay. I could not remember whose card that was. After 1 year of marriage, you find out your partner's cheated on you. You have 2 kids together. Do you stay separated or do you stay or get separate and get a divorce? I just don't see myself being put in this position.
But the card said
But the card said that I was cheated on.
hypotheticals.
And this doesn't have to be your current situation, even though it's outlining
Yeah,
My
like
exactly.
your
whole
Exactly
entire
what you-
life. It has
yeah.
my children's name on the card.
it's like, all right, if Zach
Their
cheated on you,
ages. Yeah.
just generally speaking.
Generally, I would get divorced. With
Okay.
Zach, I would probably stay. I don't think he would cheat on me. I think that there would be something deeper in where we've done too much together and are too intertwined for me to not attempt to understand what happened.
Yeah.
Even though that's absurd to say, but we're all human and we
I
all have
think that's-
feelings. And
yeah.
but if it's some random Joe that I have no emotional connection to in this moment, even for the kids, like I would never stay together for the kids. It's my relationship with Zach is what would make me continue to try. I would never stay together for the children. Like that part of this card doesn't matter.
Right. What about you, Ross?
It's one of those things where like there's variables to it, but I feel like my gut answer is kind of what Brittany just said. Like I wouldn't stay together just because we had kids. I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, that's a
Yeah.
pretty big trust breaker. That's a pretty big ruiner. And like, I would still be like, let's talk about why that happened.
Yeah.
Let's get to the bottom. But it would be such a impactful thing that I'm like, well, I don't know if I can trust you moving forward.
Right.
And all like a relationship should be based off of being able to trust your partner and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like the bond of love would kind of be broken a little bit. You know what I mean? Like all those sort of like deep cut things that, I mean, it would definitely be difficult, but I'd probably go the divorce route.
Yeah.
I think it would depend, because I also am like, okay, if this was Nick, then I would stay with him and try to figure everything out. And blah,
it's
blah,
weird
blah,
when you're
because
with someone that communicates. So you're like, I just won't be in this situation.
I know that we could work through and talk through anything. If it was somebody other than Nick, though, like if I was just like, oh, this like hypothetical person and hypothetical children, if it were like, I don't know, it would just depend on the situation, I guess. Because that's the other thing too, is it's like, were you drunk at a party, like being irresponsible? Do you have feelings for the person?
Was it a kiss?
How far did this go? Like, that's what I want to, like,
that's what I want to know.
That's what I want to know.
What
I
did
would
you
be like,
do?
Yeah. I would want to, like, I feel like because of who I am and analytical, I think I would have to break down the actual, like very specifics of it in order to know how I would react, I guess. Because
it's circumstantial.
it is very circumstantial. It depends on your partner. I don't have kids, so I can't like relate to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard.
that makes sense.
I guess I'd stay. I guess that's what I'm saying.
All right. Speaking of cheating, who do you believe cheats more, men or women? Probably.
Yeah.
Women cheat for sure, but I just feel like the amount of girls that I know that have cheated, it's like a situational thing. And there are men that I know of that like are going out of their way day in and day out to get attention from anyone that's not their partner. And like most girls are not like that. And not that most men are, but I just think, I don't know.
Probably dudes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, and that's the thing is, I feel like with women, a lot more times it's like you said, it's more situational.
And it's emotional cheating is usually where it starts in like intentional. Like, I don't know how we got in this situation, but like, I really like you now, and it's going to like progress. And then with men, it's literally like, you have a vagina and you looked in my direction.
Yeah. And
Nice.
that's kind of how I see it too, is it's like the intention of like, oh no, like I want to, like, I feel like make something out of this versus this girl is hot and I want to bang her.
Yeah.
Like girls are rarely just like, ooh, that guy's attractive and like I don't care about who he is or what he's about.
Think
like,
that the girl will traditionally think like, at the end of whatever wild things happening right now, I'm going to end up with in a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hurt the person I'm with. Men are not thinking about any of that. They're just like, how long can I get by with this?
yeah.
That makes sense.
1,000%.
From my experience.
Leah,
Oh.
the card.
Oh.
She's like, okay, I will repeat what I just
gave my
said.
answer.
I was like, I thought I gave enough of an answer. Name something non-sexual that turns you on. Okay, this might be specific to Nick, but the way that his hair like lays on the back of his neck, it has the little flip. I don't know why, but I fucking love that.
That's adorable.
I love that shit.
Backing into parking spots.
Okay.
Wow.
Sexy.
I'm gonna start doing that all the time now.
Who's watching me? It's great. I can't do it.
You got to put your arm.
Exactly.
Put your arm around me while you're doing it. Yeah.
I have to like think about this one. What is it?
What is
Name something non-sexual that turns you on.
Where you see it and you're like, damn, bitch, that was good. Let's go to the bedroom.
Men chopping wood. Shirtless men just chopping wood.
Whoa.
That was a good job.
That's a real
Guys,
good
look,
job.
I even made a mess of my hair.
You're getting
so
real.
sexual.
Wow, real into chopping that wood.
Kind of man.
Ross, I can't give you an answer.
I know. I almost can't think of an answer. I know there is one. There's absolutely one. But I don't know. I like kind of can't think of an answer for this.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that there's not one. I just feel like for some reason I cannot think of anything or not think of something that is the beginning of something sexual that I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
No, like seeing Hayley Williams on stage is like extremely arousing. Hopefully not like too arousing.
Just standing in the crowd with a boner.
And you're like, you and me after this.
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't be alone, I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like my man brain is just getting too in the way, and I'm just thinking of only.
You're like going straight to the bedroom. You're like, oh yeah, like when she takes her clothes off.
Love that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have a good answer for this, but I know
when you go to bed, you're thinking
yes,
about
when we are done recording this, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah,
when she makes me a cheese toastie in the middle of the night.
a cheese toastie in the middle of the. That's very specific.
What's a cheese toastie?
What is a cheese toastie?
A cheese toastie is just toast
Grilled
with
cheese?
cheese on it, or grilled cheese, but English people or British people call them cheese toasties.
Oh.
So you call them cheese toasties?
Yeah, Zach and I have picked up a lot of like lingo that like is not ours to be using, and we use it. Yes.
Okay.
I say
that's fun.
You fancy a chat?
I like that.
Yeah.
Can we do the rest of this
And
episode?
chill.
No, we're not doing that.
Rest of the episode.
No.
Come on, not in
I don't think so.
No?
If you give me an answer to that.
Oh, I really like when women
their
speak
clothes off.
women speak with accents.
Oh, there we go.
there we
Okay.
See?
That's
about
actually that's super sexual. I feel like when you meet
is.
somebody that has an accent and you're just like, oh, can you just talk forever?
For the sake of giving an answer, yes. If there any woman with like an accent like
Yeah.
that, I'm gonna be like, really?
Really?
So that'll be.
You don't say.
Oh, really?
Okay. Would you do 3 years in prison for $10 million? This would be an
This is prison. This isn't jail. This is like prison.
yeah for $10 million.
I feel like my immediate answer is like, nah.
I can't.
I'd rather be trying to figure out other ways to make $10 million in that 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think that you can honestly like put a price on your time because
Yeah.
And
you
your
never
mental
know like
well-being and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
you never know. You could literally have a brain tumor and die as soon as you get out of there. I mean, like there's
true.
there's literally no price that you can put on time. I feel like.
There was a question. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm not even gonna bring it up. I'm gonna have to like write it down. That someone was asking like on TikTok or something the other day, and I was like, that could be a whole episode.
Okay. Save that. Save that. Write it down. If you could eat only one food item for the rest of your life, what would it be?
We already know yours.
Yeah, I guess I don't have to answer.
But is that a food item?
Yeah, or is that like a brand? Is that a...
No, an item. I think it has to be an item.
So how are we breaking down item? Is that like a slice of pizza? Is that... Or is that like a potato?
Because a pizza is an item. A pizza is an entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you said like potatoes, then you get all forms of potatoes.
Right. Is that how... Are we breaking it down that far? Or is it like, oh, a pizza, a salad, a...
I don't know. I think maybe they just worded it stupid and we're looking too far into it.
Probably. If you could eat only one food item for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's fine,
Mine's
I can
either
eat
Chipotle or pizza.
I feel like pizza's always good because you can do lots of different kinds of pizza, but it's always good. Like even bad pizza is still pretty good.
You still eat it. It's still edible.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
pizza.
Or salad. Salad is also something you can change a million different
I would
ways.
do tacos. Walking taco,
yeah.
taco salad, hard tacos, soft tacos.
That's great. That's great.
That's
Solid
really
choice.
good.
All right, Leah.
Pasta.
Oh wait, that was me again saying for the card. But your choice. I thought you.
Pizza as
I
well?
thought you chose.
Oh, I thought no.
pizza.
Well, pizza's great, but I
Leah.
thought we were generally we were just like
All right, Leah, grab that
Pasta.
card. Pasta.
noodle soup. Have you guys ever seen Friends? No.
Nope.
Oh boy. Okay. What are your thoughts on a 30-year-old dating an 18-year-old? Icky.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah.
Again, it can depend on the people, and I know age to some people is just a number.
It can't when it's 18 because you were a child yesterday.
Yeah, that to me is, it's like, it's not even the age gap, it's just how close 18 is
Yes.
to being
Yes.
a minor.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
big old no.
Like if you knew the person when they were a minor, you cannot date them. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a little, that's strange to me because before you were just like, fun uncle, whatever. And now, like,
And now
you're
we're
just
dating?
like, oh, my
Yeah.
boyfriend. Or like, you know, like, oh, my cousin's older friend.
Like I did that and it's not good. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like no man, no person should be dating an 18-year-old if they're over like 22 or 23.
Yeah.
Even that is like, depending on when they turn 18 and if you knew them before, it's too much.
You know what I feel like is the appropriate age for determining, like 21, I feel like once you're 21 and you are able to...
21, you can date whoever you want.
Yeah, because you are capable of going and purchasing alcohol, shooting a gun. Like there are a lot of things that I think started at 18 and now it's like most things are changing to 21 because we're realizing like how much more the brain develops between those specific years of leaving high school and then entering the real world.
There's no reason why a 30-year-old needs to be with an 18-year-old. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
That's just not. Yeah.
Nope.
And that. What the fuck does this mean?
For those of you not watching, she's reading the next question, trying to figure out.
Can you date potential?
Oh, like if somebody has the potential to be like what you want, sort of?
Yeah, like you're dating the idea of them more than what they are.
Oh.
So that's a very like, could you, right? Because like anyone can, sure, and
yeah,
that's
could.
good or bad.
Because I always think I can fix them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Is I was like, I have. It doesn't mean that you should.
I agree. Yeah, I will. I will do it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I think I can identify that maybe I shouldn't, but I can and have, and
we'll continue to.
Probably will again.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else with that?
No, that's that. Do you got anything?
No, I feel like that could be a whole episode on its own, too.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like we've already talked about this, so this will probably be a quick one, so we'll do it. Do you consider flirting cheating?
No.
I don't either.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on like how deep the flirt is.
Right.
Like if it's like, give me that wiener, boy, then I'd be like, hold on, back up. What was that? But yeah, I don't know.
I think like playful
there's a
banter and stuff. I'm like, my grandma, a wise woman who's still alive, so let me not say. She has always said, and she's been with my grandpa since they were 15. I am committed, not blind. So she's got eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to pretend that you don't see other people as attractive.
And to never talk to the opposite sex because you might like have flirty banter. Like that's just going to set you up for being in worse positions in your relationship. And you also need to work on your relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Also, I feel like it helps to like if somebody was flirting with my partner, it's like an ego boost for them. And if
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
If I'm confident in my relationship, I'm going to look at that and be like, oh, good for you. Like you go, like, look at that waitress, like checking you out. Like, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
That
Maybe
makes
that's
sense.
just me. If you could hack into someone's phone in the room, whose would it be? That's not that fun.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think there's
wouldn't
anything on
wanna do
either
that.
of your phones.
Yeah.
I'm picking another card. What is your favorite documentary? No, I don't want that one either.
Fair.
Would you rather have a joint account or separate accounts with your spouse? I feel like that one's
Like bank account?
yeah. We have both, to be honest with you.
We are separate and constantly I'm like, can we join our accounts?
Yeah, it's helpful to have a joint account for expenses that you have together. But at least for us specifically, like we both run our own respective businesses.
Yeah.
So it's easier to have like an income in two separate places because then this is where I pull from to do my taxes and to pay my rent and to do that kind of stuff, for my space that I'm using. And then he has his stuff to pay for his ads and he has stuff to pay for the people that he has that like, curate his emails and whatever the heck. So I think it's important for us to both have one. Like separate, but
Yeah, I feel like my answer would be similar to yours, where I'm like, if there's a reason to like join them or whatever. Otherwise, I don't feel like I'd be that concerned about it. I'd definitely be open to it, but I'm more so just like, hey, you got your account, like, I got mine.
This
cool.
is the type of card that lets you know whether someone's in an unhealthy relationship or not. When they're like, either like, oh no, I absolutely wouldn't. Why would you need to? Which there are some reasons. Like I literally don't have a job. I'm unemployed. But also like. Yeah, being okay with having separate ones too and knowing that doesn't change anything either.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you want to be shown love? This is
like love languages.
Yep,
we have a whole episode about that
there's
in
an
season
entire
1.
episode
So
back in season 1.
A is gifts, B is words of affirmation, C is physical touch. And this is how you want to be shown, not how you show. D, acts of service, E, quality time. Mine is acts of service and quality time.
Yeah, mine's quality time and either words of affirmation or physical touch.
Mine is like pretty much through and through acts of service. But I also do enjoy quality time and words of affirmation a little bit as well. I think those, I have like a tie for second place for those. But I feel like we've talked about, Nick filling up my water bottle for me. So
yeah. If you want to hear all the details on our answers to that, go back to season 1 if you didn't listen to that episode. Yes. The whole love languages episode. Is it a deal breaker if your partner can't cook? No. I wouldn't care, and I would personally just be like, oh man, neither of us can. We'll figure it out together.
Yeah, no,
that's me and Zach.
Yeah. In reality, Nick and I, neither of us could cook, and he just was like more interested in the idea of doing it. So yeah, I think you could make it work.
Yeah, you can always make it work. We've all been raised on nuggets and pizza.
That's true.
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you believe in couples counseling? Do you believe couples counseling is necessary or a waste of time? I think if you need it, it's totally necessary. I don't think it would ever be a waste of time.
Yeah, no, I don't. If you need it, there's a reason that's needed. I feel like, go
Did
do
you just
that.
skip me?
Yes, also.
I did?
Skip Leah.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
I was thinking about it and I was like, when did we start going this way? And then I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, what was the...
It was
Oh yeah, Wait.
You asked love languages.
And then you asked the cook.
I asked the cook.
Yeah, okay.
We went through that relatively quickly.
Wait, but what was the question you just asked?
The couples counseling, like, is it good or is it a waste of time?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it depends on the couple, but I do think that anybody, if you talk to your friends about your shit with your partner, I feel like that's literally you venting and trying to get out there that like that's couples counseling on your own. Like if you can talk about it with your friends, you can talk about it with a stranger as a third party that can come in and actually say
that we can talk about when we do another episode related similarly to the Jonah Hill stuff is sometimes you need that counseling as a couple. So therefore, like, someone in the relationship isn't only giving a therapist one side and getting validated for that one side and that one position.
Yes.
And turning what they believe they learn into forms of power that they then just use on the other person. It's like, well, I was told that I need to set boundaries and this is what this looks like. And it's like,
I think that
there's
some, like, I shouldn't say some, there's a lot of like positive reinforcement that comes from a third party that's an outside perspective that can look at, like, I don't know. I feel like as a person, I try to be really diplomatic. When my friends come to me for stuff, I'll be like, all right, well, what did you do on this side? Like, did you do anything that might have blah, blah, blah? And that's the part where, like, nobody wants to look inward and be like, oh, shit, maybe it was me that,
they only want you to validate their shitty whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. I can't believe they did that.
Like, and that's where venting is. Yeah, you can sit there and vent and I can listen, but, like, having, somebody on the outside that can look in and just be like, oh, actually, like, you're both kind of at fault here, and this is why.
I would also tack on, make sure that, like, if you are leaning into couples counseling, keep that communication going between the both of you, not just we'll do it when we go to the meeting.
We'll talk about this when we
and
get
then
to
only
therapy.
Talking about it within the session, and then not putting action behind the things that you're talking about.
It's important to try to build communication in a way where eventually you get to a point where you don't necessarily need the mediator there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it.
So you want to go back to you?
Yeah, we'll just start going this way then. We just did a reverse.
That's going to be so confusing.
Yes, it will be.
Name a song that would be on your sex playlist.
My sex playlist?
Oh, man. Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas. It's a sexy song.
Yeah, I feel like there's plenty of sexy songs. I would have to do... Oh my goodness.
This is hard.
My answer was more of like a joke too, so I actually don't really think I would.
You don't know what your sexy song is?
No, I don't think I can think of one that's like specifically like, ooh, I want to bang to this.
Yeah, I'm trying to bang to this song. Yeah,
Can we
I don't know
skip
if
this
I
one?
have
Yeah, we can skip that. All right, I'll pick another.
See, Lee gets two turns. See,
look at that.
Fine.
You made up for it.
Oh, this is more of a Brittany question. Who do you prioritize, your partner or your child?
My child.
I feel like that makes sense.
And he would say the same thing.
I think that literally, like, the only people that would say partner are people that probably don't have kids or don't want kids or have never interacted with kids in the way that,
or they just have a really backward, like, oh, I'm going to feed my husband first.
Yeah. I think that your child should always come first because that child is an extension of you and your partner.
And your child did not ask to be born.
Yeah. So, put your child first. For God's sake. So you go next.
Okay,
or we can
go again. Or you want me to just draw a double?
Let's stay how we were. And so you can double up,
up.
and then I'll go. So then we'll keep going the way that we were going.
Who do you think is the funniest comedian of all time?
Of all time?
That's what it says.
Wow.
So I'm not entirely sure how to answer this.
Ansel and Gretel.
I'm not sure how to Ansel and Gretel this one.
Of all time.
Wow. That's a big...
I'm just going to say, for sake of like getting to play more cards, I'm going to say I don't think he's actually the funniest person alive, but he's given so much to us. Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I kind of the same thing. I'm just, for the sake of like one that comes to mind just to get through this, I'm going to say Norm Macdonald.
He's not necessarily a comedian specifically, but I feel like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He's also somebody that like he's brought like so much like just joy and laughter into our homes as like children maybe that I feel like it's like
that's a good one.
For a split,
he did some shit for us.
For a split second, I thought you were saying that to my answer. I was like, Norm Macdonald. You're like, he's not really a comedian. I'm like, what? I was like, oh god.
No, sorry, didn't mean to undermine your answer there.
Is it okay to break up with someone through a text message?
I think we've all done it.
Well, I will say that yes, it is okay. And that is fine.
I'll leave it at that.
And but I do think that I think ultimately yes, and I think
better routes.
There's better routes, but I think the answer is a breakup can happen through a text message, but also the real positive side of it can come from, can you have an actual conversation about that at another point? Then so it's like,
or are you a good communicator through texting is a big thing too. Like, can we have this discussion?
I can have a way better conversation if I am nervous about something. I can get my words out in a text that I might not be able to get out, like
because you can think about it longer.
Yeah, I couldn't leave it at the text message.
I agree. I wouldn't be like, and block that number.
Yeah, and cool,
No,
we will never speak again. But it's like,
sure.
okay, the initiation of like, hey, this needs to happen. All right, I can accept that.
Here's the hard.
But we need to talk about what happened for real at a different point. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You.
My turn.
Yep.
This is why I just keep forgetting. What is one new thing you want to do next year? We are actually going to have an entire episode about bucket lists.
We are.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to list off a bunch of them.
But in the next year, what's one new
is.
thing that I want to do? You know what I want to try? I want to try one of those things, those sensory tanks. Where you're like floating.
I have done those. I used to have a membership.
Oh,
Damn.
really?
At True Rest.
That'd be cool to try one of those.
I feel like that would just be something where like we were talking about meditation and kind of like letting your mind. My brain never shuts up, and I feel like I'm constantly always stimulated by my surroundings, and it would be really challenging but also interesting to do.
Yeah, you should. It's just a great experience. Even if you're in there bobbing like with your own thoughts, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
That is in there then.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
That's true.
It's a good time. What I want to do in the next year, I want to take a family vacation with Zach and the kids. We've never done any like
Where would you go?
Probably next year we'll probably go to Salem for Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Book stuff in advance. It gets so busy. Sorry to turn this into but if you don't book stuff in advance, things will be sold out. Like
I will probably
crazy.
book this year. When we went a couple years ago. Actually, it was like 5 years ago now because we're getting old and it's weird. Time's so weird.
Yeah.
We booked a little last minute and we had to book in Boston. Luckily, like the area is small, but I would have loved to actually be like in Spooky Town.
Yeah.
Mine is I'd really like to pick up a form of MMA of some sort. I really been trying to get myself to go to a jiu-jitsu gym that I have been eyeing for the past year. So I'm hoping that I can go and do that. I have been thinking about
that.
That would be
Jiu-jitsu
really
friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say literally Taylor.
Yeah, I need to go. Yes.
Yeah.
So I want one of these connections to open the door.
Could you be in a long distance relationship?
Yes, I could.
I think I could.
I prefer long distance relationships. I never used, like, from high school forward, I never dated somebody that was in close proximity to me, because I would just get annoyed of them. Nick and I lived 2 hours apart before I moved in with him, and it was like a year into it where I was like, okay, I can stand to be around you long enough. And there are still times when I'm like, it would be super tight if I could just like have an apartment somewhere that was like my place, you know?
So yeah.
All right. Would you wait and stay loyal if your partner got 5 years in prison?
No.
What they do?
Yeah, that's another one of those, like, the context matters. Man, 5 years in prison, like, it does depend on what they did.
Like, what if they, like, went to bat for you?
If it's some weird, like, fraudulent thing, like, accident thing or whatever, I'd, like, probably, I'd try and, stick around. If it was, like, you know, murder to bus full of kids.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think that you would only get 5 years for murder, but I guess it would depend. True. It would depend on how much that affected, like, whatever they did affected me.
If what they did was selfish and they like deserve to be going, then I might not stay around. But if it was something where I'm like, fuck, we just like really fell into something.
I can't say my answer is like absolutely, but it's like maybe.
What it comes down to is it's like, okay, like for 5 years it would have to be something that's like, and especially like in prison. Like, I mean, you had to do something kind of big, but also like it depends on what kind of thing it is. Like, if you were doing it, you like were putting me in jeopardy by not even thinking about the fact that if you did get caught or in trouble or whatever for this, you clearly didn't think about how it would affect
But consider
me or
this.
Us.
Now you got an apartment for 5 years by yourself.
Long distance relationship.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I think again, it definitely does depend on like the crime.
Yeah.
And the like the nature of the crime. Like was it a violent thing?
Right.
Was it like, you know, if it was destruction of property or something, it's like, okay, were you like that, like
what the fuck
fucked up in the head that you were just like, I'm gonna just bash in all the windows of this place?
Or did you pull down a racist statue? And it's
then I'm like, all right, okay, I'll write you, I guess.
I'll write you.
I'll write you.
Can a person with a high sex drive have a successful relationship with a person that has a low sex drive? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next question.
Cool. Great.
Glad we're not shitty people here. Can you genuinely be in love with two people at once? I don't think you can be in the same, like, intensity, but I think,
I think you can.
Yeah, I think I don't think the versions of love are the same.
Yeah.
I think there's different levels of love.
Well, and I think there's every person you love, though, you love differently. You know what I mean? Like, every single person that you love, the love feels different, even if you're in love, like being in love with somebody in your past, like even if things didn't work out, you can look at the way that you felt and think back to the way that you felt and look at the way that you feel now. And it might not be less strong. It's just different because it's different people.
Yeah.
I guess.
So, and I think if we were breaking it down to romantic love, then I don't think that's how that works necessarily.
I do.
Maybe for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever watched Love is Blind? I don't know.
I have not.
Have you ever watched The Bachelor?
I have not.
I
just don't think it works that way with the, like you were saying, the amount of like the intensity. I don't think it works that way.
Okay. Yeah. I get that.
But
like somebody's always going to come out on top.
I kind of I know I'm not saying that it can be even, but I totally think you can be like absolutely head over heels in your relationship or like in a great spot and then like meet someone and then be like, what the fuck? The chemistry here, and then you know what I mean?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. What is the that's not a good
pass.
We'll pass on that one. You find out that your fiance has stolen $9,548.32 from your account over the past 3 years. Do you call off the wedding? Is that a good one?
I would call off the wedding.
I would too. We're not married yet, and you stole all my money.
Yeah, probably just. Yeah, I guess we're calling it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Ross is like, I really wanted to get married, but fuck, we'll call the wedding off.
Ooh, okay. Fill in the blank. Women need to do better at blank. So we did this. Was it the first one?
The first round of Convo and Chill.
Oh gosh, wrong game.
Season 1.
So
we're not really
women need to do better at blank. I would say that women need to do better at being patient, because I think that there's a lot of things that we are like really like, all right, let's go. Like, and I think that at least for me as a woman, I get impatient sometimes with men when I'm like, why aren't you getting this? Or why aren't you understanding this? Because I think that a lot of times women are more in tune with our emotions and what we want and what we feel. And I think that we're impatient waiting for men to do that.
Yes.
I guess. So that's my answer.
What could women do better? I think this may be more so like a personal thing, but I think women / me could be better at like speaking our minds and like sticking up for ourselves and sticking up for other women. I think a lot of the time we expect like in a scary scenario that like a dude's gonna come in and like save the day.
Yeah.
But like we're semi-capable. We might get killed if we do that.
I feel like mine maybe goes a little bit with yours, Brittany, of that like speaking up or standing up. Because I feel like I often have conversations with women where it's like, and this is also people in general, so maybe this is a cop-out answer, but like, I feel like I often have conversations where like they just end up in like strange circumstances. And I'm not saying dangerous. I'm just saying like, hey, are those people really healthy for you to be around? And they're like, not really. And it's like, oh, well, stand up for yourself. And, you know, you don't have to just be like, this is just how it is. These are the people I'm around. This is how it's like, no, you have all the power to really be able to like build that confidence and stand up for yourself in those ways. And like,
I say we're too emotional and not in a hysteria way, in a like, how are we going to hurt these people? Even if these people hurt us, how are we going to like hold in the like feeling of like, I have to hurt you in order to get away from you type thing? You know what I mean?
I think that women in general also need to be better at like lifting up other women instead of bringing other women down.
Agreed.
Because that is something that even today I see a lot of people where, you know, there will be a situation where women are looking at another woman and being like, well, she's crazy. And there are enough men in the world out there calling us crazy and emotional and, you know, hysteric or whatever. So I think we need to be more graceful towards each other.
Agreed. Could you marry someone if the sex wasn't good? Yes, but I just think, I guess no, because then we're not communicating and something is not. Like,
I was going to say, you can always improve. So I don't, if it's not good and
if it's not, still not getting
if
good,
it's not
then,
going to get better with coaching,
communication.
Watch some videos.
Watch a couple videos.
Tutorials.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
I got a handy little website for you, bud.
Literal handy website. Do you... That's a dumb question.
Okay.
When was the last time you cried?
I actually was thinking about this question because it came up on something I watched recently.
Oh, I just cried like yesterday, the day before. It was something on the internet. Theinternet.com made me cry.
Theinternet.com.
It was just one of those like videos of like this person doing this thing and like, it was something like that. It was literally like within the last couple days.
Something on the line.
Yeah.
Something on the line that I just instantly was like, yep, and I am sitting and I'm crying.
Okay. My allergies make me cry all the time by accident. I think the last time I cried was when my mom was in the hospital because I was really stressed out with everything that was going on. Not necessarily that I was expecting anything bad to happen, but there was just a lot happening around me in that moment that I just couldn't control, which is really hard for me. So I was frustrated. I think I was crying out of frustration more than anything else.
Similarly, I feel like you both know Zach is always like battling doctors and illnesses and all of the things. I feel like I have Munchausen's by proxy, like I'm making him sick because he's always fucking sick, and I have to be telling people that. But I would say this is like probably like I know that it was a week ago. He was trying to like explain to me how his doctor appointment went, and he's not great at advocating for himself, so then we get pushed back into other specialists and all of this fun stuff. And I was so overwhelmed with everything coming down on me and feeling like he didn't stick up for himself, even though he's going through all the things that are coming down on me physically, they're happening to him. But I just like had like a breakdown over like, I can't fix it for you. You got to do your part in this.
Yeah.
Because while you are sick and going through all of this, I am like essentially like a single parent. He's getting better, but like been doing everything by myself for the whole year. This has been all year. And then I'm crying and he's holding me and he said, it's okay that you're crying. You know why? Because it's the first of the month and you're about to start your period. And he was fucking right. I started like 30 minutes later.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I knew I needed the cry, but it was literally like a buildup in my body that just needed to come out.
Yeah, I definitely feel like with PMS comes like great waves of just like,
I was like,
sadness.
It was rage at first before I cried. Like, why didn't you say X, Y, and Z at the doctor? Not that it would make a difference, but I'm always hoping that like he's gonna come home with the magical, this is what I have and this is how they fix it.
Yeah.
And it went from rage to now I feel fucking horrible that I just yelled at you because you're not fixed. Mm-hmm. And then just like it was like all of the emotions. It was a good cry, I will say. Once he was like, you're about to start your period, I was like, thank God that like there's a reason for this.
I knew I wasn't a little bitch. Yeah.
Folks, having a good cry goes a long way.
It
Open
does.
yourself up to being down to cry.
It was nice.
Yeah.
You? And then
like, yeah, it's me.
You.
We'll do one more round after this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship, is it okay to keep any possessions from your exes? I guess it depends on the object, because if it was like something super sentimental between the two of you, like, I don't know, then maybe no. But if it was just like, hey, we went to this concert together and he bought me this shirt while we were there, like, I don't really care. I still have like random things here and there where I'm like, where did this come from? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, so-and-so gave me this. And then I'll be like, I forgot so-and-so gave me this. Is it weird that I have this? And then I'm like, I guess if I forgot up until this point that they were the person that gave it to me, then
I still have like a million things like that. And I think Zach does too. Someone gets you an article of clothing and you love it and it loses its like where it came from. You think about it sometimes and you go hee hee and then you move on. But at my mom's house, she has a whole closet of stuff from my first like real relationship, my first like real high school relationship. And I'm like, don't fucking throw it away. She's bringing it. She's staying with us for a couple months. She's bringing it. I'm ecstatic to go through everything.
Oh, wow.
Zach's mom keeps everything too. I've read all of his little love letters to his little girlfriends and their love letters back. And I can't wait to get mine. Aww. And we just giggle about them. Everything is so sweet.
Yeah, it's different.
My older exes just weren't thoughtful in that way. They didn't give me shit that I wanted to keep. So
yeah. I also
certain
don't think
things
it's a big
I think like there are certain things where like when the relationship is over, like, you know, like one of the first things you do is you're like, take your shit back. Like there are plenty of things where I'm like, I am giving this back to you because otherwise I will throw it away and maybe it's not my place to do that. I've done that before. I was just like, take this. I don't want it.
There's been like the ultra meaningful things that came from a relationship I will get rid of.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's like a
what's an example?
Like love letters, stuff like that.
Right.
It's that.
Right.
Am I wrong?
I'm like, no, I'll keep them all. No, you're not wrong.
Yeah, okay. I was like, should I have not? Yeah, no. You know,
things
like that are like, I feel like a very deep, like emotional connection. I'm like, I don't need, this isn't like a random, like a shirt we got at a concert or that pair of pants you left here. Like, you know, whatever.
I just love to go back and I personally, it's all about me. Like when I read all the stuff that like is in my mom's closet, I think about how I was at that age and how I was feeling.
Right.
And I'm not giving a shit like about, you know, whatever. Or if it's a love letter from someone, I'm like, oh, you thought all of these things about me and I'm in love with me now. I'm still not thinking about you.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. All right. This is our last little round.
Final round.
All right. 3 cards to go.
Yeah, they gotta be good.
They have to be good.
Does a person's choice of religion impact your decision to date them? My answer is yes, if their religion states that because I don't practice it, I'm going to hell. If he's like, I love ya, or she's like, I love ya, what she's probably not if she's this religious.
Yeah.
Then no, like I don't want to go through life with my partner and then think like at the end of this, like I am gonna burn in a flame.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, I would say if in general, like, is that something I'm like super concerned with? No, but yes, if it were like super far in one way
they
of
were
like
very religious in that way.
Ultimately, yeah, like I don't care what they are, what they believe, but if they're like, you also must this, then
or like, what if they're like, you don't
can't.
have to, but like I am fearful of your like eternal.
Yeah, I feel like that would cause so many different ripple effects of like weirdness popping up that it would ultimately probably be like, okay, yeah,
I've literally seen it and I get so confused. I literally know a couple and the girl is, I don't know if she still is, I guess I don't know them like that well anymore, but really religious and like would tell her friend like, I fear, not her partner, I fear for you because you're not, and like what could happen to you. And then got a partner who is an atheist and then got married, and I'm like, queen,
interesting. Yeah.
what's gonna happen here?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Very true. I think similarly, it depends on like how religious.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
that's what it.
if your partner is religious, like if I met somebody that was just like, yeah, I believe in God and like I go to church, and if we get married, I'd like it to be like in a church, I don't really care. But if they're like, we have to collectively go to church every Sunday together, and same thing where like, oh, I have to pray for your damned soul because you like
While
women.
you're just existing,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, that's just crazy.
That to me is where I draw the line. I don't care if you have a religion, but if you are religious to a degree, then I'm gonna be uncomfortable probably.
I just secretly
I saw. It wasn't so secret.
Yeah, everyone saw.
everyone did see that. In the getting to know phase, is it necessary to talk to the other person every single day? I will say no. I don't think it's important to talk every day.
I agree with that. I don't think it's important to talk every day.
I feel like it's not important necessarily to talk to somebody every single day in the getting to know phase, but I will say that in today's day and age, it is super easy to assume that people are ghosting you because there's just too many, like...
We've gotten too close to like, they have their cell phone, why aren't they responding?
Yes. Well, and the other thing too is like, okay, am I going to see that you're not texting me back, but you're liking stuff or posting stuff or whatever?
But when I do that, it's never malicious. I fucking forgot you texted me and then I got 5 minutes and I scrolled.
It happens to everybody.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, if you don't think about me for the entirety of a day, somebody that you're trying to get to know, and it's a getting to know phase, so I'm guessing like getting to know to potentially create a partnership with this person. If it's an entire day goes by and you don't even think about me or want to talk to me, then like I'm probably not that.
I guess it's like how far into the get to know phase you are, because like I can think to situations where it's like the first bit, even though it was like clear of like, oh yeah, this is why we're talking right now. There would be like, oh, a day where we don't talk, and then like the next day we talk, and then maybe there's 2 days, and then maybe there's 5 days in a row, and then there's like, it was kind of sporadic like that, but there was never a part of me that was like, what the hell? I was like, oh yeah, cool. She must have had a busy day today, and so did I, or whatever. Yeah. But then I guess at some point it does turn into like, but then I guess is that the get to know phase? I don't know. Like it, because it naturally did and does progress into you are top of mind and you do start naturally talking every day. And maybe it's not an all day communication. It's not texting back all day. But it usually is like once, you know, it's like, oh, hey, I just got off work. What a long day, whatever.
If I will agree with Leah, if we are on track, like if we've been like texting for a month and we've gone on a couple dates and we're clearly trying to move into the next zone, then you're going to hurt my feelings if you go a whole day without telling me, like, hope you're having a good day.
I can agree with that. Yeah. I think when it's earlier on.
Yeah, when you're literally like playing 20 questions and shit. Not that we're playing 20 questions, but you're like,
no, but like going back
you
and
don't
forth
know
and
them
finding
yet.
out.
Yeah,
that's different. I think, and it also depends on where you met the person, the context of meeting them. Are you getting to know them for potential partnership, or are you getting to know them just to get to know them?
And because it's fun and they're cool, and we'll see what happens. That's the thing
is, I feel like there are a lot of like these just overtones of like expectations, I guess, when you meet people through things like Tinder or something. So if you're literally like, oh, we met on this dating app and we are getting to know each other, I would assume if somebody didn't text me back for an entire day, like, oh, okay, like they must not be interested in me in that way. I don't know, but maybe it's just because of the day and age that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily would write a person off because, then the next day they could just be like, hey, I spent all day with my family yesterday for whatever the fuck and, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that I would like block their number or something like that, but I think that I would definitely be wondering like, oh, okay, like, where, like, what's going on, I guess.
Yeah.
So
your turn.
All right.
My turn.
Final card of this episode. We gotta make it good.
Gotta be a good
I know.
one.
I'm like,
Not a good one. Not it.
okay. If your partner makes twice as much money as you, should you still split the rent 50-50? I think if your partner is making significantly more than you, I think that it's fair that they pay a little bit more than you do because you should be able to put forth what makes sense for you.
And if it's a partnership, it doesn't have to be 50-50. Like a lot of, for me, yeah, they should have to pay more. And not because you should want to, knowing that you're making your partner's life easier.
Yeah.
Depending on how much your partner's making.
Yeah.
Like most people are struggling a bit. They don't have much savings. So if you make double what I make and you're like, I don't know, that's crazy. Like cough up the $700 for rent. I'm going to be like, I'm not saying I'm entitled for them to pay more, but I think that my standard would be like,
I just know that if it were me that made more money, that I'd be willing to put more forward in order to help make my partner's life easier and make our life easier as a whole.
Like without a second thought.
That's what's funny is like when that question first popped up, I was like, oh no, I don't care. I wouldn't make them pay more. But then I'm like, but if I was the one that made more, I would be like, hey, let me pay for more. So yeah, then I guess that does make sense.
I think it's one of those things like no two people, unless you literally met at work and like have the same position and whatever, are going to have the exact same income.
Right.
And I think that like it's different if it's like, okay, if it's your rent for a space that you're both living in, like it should be like, yeah, a ratio. Like, oh, you make twice as much as I do, so maybe you can pay 2/3 and I pay 1/3 kind of a thing. Or, it's not like, hey, put half of your money into a bank. Let's both of us put 50% of our money into this bank account that I can also use to go get my nails done. And like, like those types of things. Like if it's rent, yes, I think 1000% that you should be paying what you are capable of paying and in a way that is comfortable for everyone involved.
Yeah.
We did it.
We did.
That was another Convo and Chill episode.
It was.
And
I'm so chilled.
Look at that stack growing over there.
That was.
We did skip a couple.
Yeah, we did skip a couple.
That's from just this game?
That's a hefty amount. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what we did and what we skipped. So, I mean, that's a decent amount. And we're still.
We got another episode in us.
We got at least another episode. Who knows? Maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe more.
Maybe we're a Convo and Chill podcast now.
Maybe that's just it. Maybe we could be. Maybe we could just be. Season 1 was sponsored by We're Not Really Strangers. Season 2 sponsored by, so far, Convo and Chill. Wow. Well, we did it.
Yay.
What a fun episode. You're
so
feeling
nice to get to know you guys.
Real, yeah. Glad we had those convos. I'm feeling real chill. I like that. If you want to have some convos with us, dear listeners and viewers, you can find us at Honestly Same Pod, or you can find us each individually around the internet if you really, really want to. But come talk to us. We're not just doing this so we can talk to ourselves. Yeah, chill with us.
If you have any questions that you'd like to hear us answer, please submit them like onto our DMs on Instagram or something too, because we love hearing from you guys and answering your questions as well, because we know that you're actually interested in the answers, whereas this stuff you might just be like,
yeah,
let us know. Because I mean, that whole Q&A episode we did for in between season 1 and 2 was a blast.
It was so much fun.
So getting your guys' questions and comments and all the things in between, a very, very fun time. We love to convo and chill with you. But thanks for doing it with us for another episode at Honestly Same Pod. Rate, review, subscribe, and follow, and do all the things that the internet needs you to do. Please do it so the internet thinks that we're cool. But now there's only one thing left to do for this episode.
Hit that button.
Hit that button.